SEO, I know I kind of jumped the gun by saying SEO, but a blog that looks good, so it's aesthetically pleasing, versus a blog that monetizes, so with ads all over the place. What kind of ads work on a blog, and can it still look good?
Well, one of the websites that make the most money in Indonesia is a portal called thetik.com. It's a news portal, and they specialize in just getting the news out first, then mind whether it's accurate or not. Right? If it's not accurate in 10 minutes, they'll correct it, but they get it out, and everybody goes in there. And it's a nightmare to go into that place, because you go in, you've got pop-ups, you've got ads that follow you everywhere, etc. It's totally unaesthetic, it's hopeless. But it's the most popular website. Why? Because of the content. You want to know what's happening right now? Get into that website, and that's it. So, you know, aesthetics of blogs, etc., again, it's secondary to your strategy, how you want to use social media. It's secondary to your content. Once you got that, then aesthetics might be.
So Ron, I know for a fact that you and Jadun and all these guys spend a lot of time on picking the theme, customizing the theme. Why bother if you have content that drives traffic anyway? Should you really bother to make your website look good?
The reason we focus so much on our looks,
On our looks.
of the blog is
Gel, makeup.
See, the thing is, you need to have a unique identity. We're pushing a brand, not just a news website. So, you know, it's not just some aggregator. We've got unique content. So, why not a unique design too?
Right.
See, and the design has to be such that it fits in the ads just as well. You know, the ad should look out of place. People should actually, you know, see the ads like they are there, but they're not, you know, making the website look ugly or, you know, coming in between the content they use.
Right.
It should be like that. I remember I got my website redesigned from a company in Romania.
Okay.
So that was really expensive at that time, but it has actually benefited me in terms of traffic and then following. My Facebook fan page followers increased a lot after that. Everything just got better after the redesign. So that means a lot to a user and the website is good.
Okay, so if it is user-friendly and aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, you and then you and then.
Sorry, if you can just add quickly. You know, your blog or website is like your online shop or your offline shop. If it's messy, obviously the customers, the walk-ins won't be able to figure out the content, the navigation or everything else easily. So I think you need to just reflect the same principle here.
Right.
In that sense.
Okay, we had a question there.
My name is Farhan. My question is from all of you. In connection with what was discussed earlier as well. There are a lot of stories going on, a lot of observations, a lot of success stories, everything. But what is the status of business or academic research in this area? Serious research that is being documented in maybe a research journal or something like that. Because these are just observations, it's not being recorded anywhere. There are no reference points where people can see what works and what doesn't.
So, you know, the challenge there, and you respect, I'm sure most of your students, the challenge is currently in the universities, the administration is generally not even Web 1.0. They are actually Britannica A2, first of all, and we generally call them digital immigrants. So they have to by force use mobile or SMS. And the challenge is this is something which is very, very fast paced. So by the time they want to document something, the technology has changed. First of all. And secondly, I think in this new era, you should not be expecting a similar documentation which we would expect for a very conventional scientific research. Because the trends are so fast changing that you need to keep up with them at their own pace. You can't push them. You need to pull what is available and then based on that. So I think there is a lot of information available. You need to convert it into knowledge and then wisdom. But that's, everybody has to do it on their own. And that's the challenge.
But it has to be on some standardized platform.
So, yeah, so I'm coming back to another challenge is in our universities, these subjects are not even yet considered serious. they're still optional if they're offered. So even the top universities in Pakistan are still not offering courses in social media or digital advertising or digital landscape. They still think this is a child's play, which was probably a few years back in Indonesia, until something hits them. So when there is something wrong about a vice chancellor of a university, then the IT department scrambles to get it removed. They don't think of putting positive information, but they think of getting it removed, which is our conventional way of countering something negative. So I think that's been the challenge. It's all about this generation getting into the planning division or the administration of the universities and then convincing them. So I think as alumni of our environmentalists, it's our responsibility to push our universities to probably introduce these subjects.
There's a question there. Then just stand there and yell. It makes me feel better.
Okay. My name is Faiza. I'm a freelance writer with advertising background. I've written editorials for media companies and all. As Shirazi sir pointed out, there's a big dearth of original local content here. And as our Indonesian friend commented, the secret to that is following your passion, coming up with niche topics. But since you commented that you should focus on your domain, and these social networks are just support to it. But like as a dummy, as a technical dummy myself, like I've created 15 Facebook groups, right from my old neighborhood, reunions to school, and philanthropy projects and stuff. And YouTube is a very user-friendly thing. Are there any tools that are supported by Google, that can help housewives, mothers, bloggers, like if somebody wants to start a fashion blog, are there any things that we can create our own web domains, or or do we have to hire a company and get a website, designed?
So YouTube is actually a Google product.
Yeah.
First of all.
Right.
So similarly,
to start a blog on a domain.
Yeah. So blogger.com and blogspot.com, which allow advertising to be embedded, are also Google products.
Okay.
So you can actually start your own blog on blogger.com. It's free.
Okay.
And if you really want your own domain, then you can actually buy it for $10 probably a year or something like that.
Okay.
Within that. So you don't have to buy any hosting, anything else.
Right.
Everything is there, up there in the cloud, which is cloud computing. You don't need any servers, anything. You don't have to worry about the traffic, whatever. It's just $10 a year, and you post it on Blogspot. If you don't want your own .com domain, then it's free on a subdomain. And you can actually.
But do you think it's a good idea to have a
It's a best
.com
idea.
domain?
Actually, let me just give you one example of Mariam Naseem from Lahore. She's not here with us today. She's a housewife. Where she has a 4-year-old daughter. She works kind of few hours in the night, and I'm sure you've heard about 123greetings.com. She designs their greeting cards from Lahore. So I think the best balance between online monetization in terms of cash is doing some freelancing for a short-term revenue generation and using that to support your long-term product as a blog, because blogs cannot be monetized immediately. You need to generate content, drive traffic, then monetize it. So it takes a while. I'm sure it takes about at least a year to really get up to that point.
For some, like 10 years.
Yeah. But so I would highly recommend that to start using websites like elance.com, elance.com, and odesk.com. And on both, on Elance, Pakistan is the 3rd highest earning country. So a lot of bloggers, including a lot of people like Usman Latif, a lot of them are doing online freelance. So I'm sure a lot of them others here are also doing that. On Odesk, they have ranked Philippines and Pakistan as the best destination for freelancing, for outsourcing, because the cost and the performance ratio is the highest in Philippines and Pakistan. It's the lowest cost and highest performance country. The only challenge is, well, a lot of people don't know about it. So I would recommend, if you can write well, just go to these websites, register yourself, get a small project, start small, grow big, and then get money out of it and support your blog, continue promoting it to the extent that you can start generating revenue out of it.
And all
That's
these
service plus product model.
And all of these places usually also have badges and tags, and so you can also promote yourself in your accounts, so that really helps. Well,
So one more thing I would like to add here is, if you're really serious about your business, just go beyond social networks, go into business networks. Think of LinkedIn, think of Zen.com, think of something beyond the off the beaten path. And that's where you will develop a niche. And it's all about hit and try. Nothing will succeed the first time, never. It's a very rare case. You need to continue.
The field is wide open.
But that's another traditional thing in Pakistan, that if you are not able to succeed the first time, that means you fail. I think we need to go beyond this myth. It's all about serial entrepreneurship. Happens to know that the term serial entrepreneurship in venture capitalism. It's only because when people fail in certain projects and after 3 or 4 attempts they are able to successfully deliver, that means they are now worth investing because they have learned to do it. So I think that's what we need to inculcate in that kind of culture.
That's exactly the message from the gentleman, the Pakistani gentleman on Mind Your Language, who said, if at first you don't succeed, try and keep trying. Question here.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम, मेरा नाम दानिश है और मैं हैदराबाद से बेसिकली ब्लॉग करता हूँ और आई एम रनिंग अ म्यूजिक वेबसाइट एंड एंटरटेनमेंट ब्लॉग फॉर क्वाइट सम टाइम, लाइक 2-3 years, and I just want to share my experience here that it takes time to develop your blog, and not every good writer can become a better blogger because there are some courses involved, or like you should have some inspiration from some great bloggers. Like I have been following Darren Rose of Pro Blogger for quite some time. So this is, I'm not in any university and college anymore, but I've been learning a lot just by subscribing a feed of a couple of blogs like Darren Rose and Amit Agarwal, and there are a couple of more inspirations. So I just want to say that I am running a local media blog, so there are less opportunities for monetizing it. I tried contacting some media house and something, and there was the same problem that they didn't even know about what the online media is about and why should we advertise or sponsor user. Luckily, I have received some sponsorship from Pepsi, and as we have discussed before, but I would again emphasize that there is need to support or promote the local content more. Like most of the time, I diverted to tech blogs just for the sake of earning much blogs. Last time, my AdSense got blocked, but immediately because my blog was credible, I retrieved back and earned back. But
Do you do this full time, or do you actually have?
Yeah, I'm doing it full time.
Okay.
I also run a top sports blog, which is dedicated for sports blog.
All right, but definitely, yes, there's definitely a need to promote local content.
I'm sorry, I'm just jumping on it. But just to quickly add, and I think this would answer a bit of your question. I think thank you for highlighting one thing. So if you are alone, I would certainly recommend to partner with somebody who can complement your services. So if you're a good writer, or a partner with somebody who's a good marketer or who's good at financials. So don't partner with other friends who are in the same field, because that means if 3 engineers are working on a project, they will again not be able to market it. They're always be fighting who's the best engineer amongst them.
And if you have Haris Nadeem on your team, he'll eat up all your food. That's good.
So I think that's one point. And once you partner, please document it, even if it's your brother. So there are 2 brothers sitting here. One is sitting at the back, one is sitting in the front. I don't know if they've documented anything, but I would certainly recommend please document, even in a simple email, but document the responsibilities and the exit strategy. That if somebody quits, who owns what and who pays what. I think that's a big, big problem in Pakistan. We don't document. We think he's a very good friend, and at the end, when either there's too much money, there's a problem,
and there's too little money, there's also a problem.
Exactly. And one last thing, sorry, just to add to your point, when you say that we need to promote the local content, internet is a level playing field. It's a global thing. So don't take, and your competitor is just a click away. People will not wait for you. Never. People have limited time and they have to fulfill a certain need.
And because we have a limited time, there are 2 or 3 topics that I just want to go on to. We have about 15 more minutes left. Once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I want to talk about videos and photographs online. Do websites, are they actually popular? What my understanding is, it's very difficult to monetize content that has lots of photographs, unless you're Flickr or Demontlix or something, because of the issue with the meta tags. They don't get picked up and you call in a lot of traffic. Is that a problem, and is there a way out? And does my question make sense? Please say yes. Good. So is there a way out? Imran, you can look alive.
One is that I think you can tag photos, so that's not a problem. You can put tags to photos. But again, the question is how do you want to make money?
Right.
in Malaysia, there's a very popular blogger called Kenny Sia, and his blog posts are probably like 80% photos and 20% text. And just makes jokes there and being a bit funny, but he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money because a lot of people just they don't want to read much. They want to go in, get amused, look at the photos, ha ha ha, and he gets the traffic. And because he gets the traffic, corporations will pay him a lot of money to send him to Australia and go down the Murray River or this or that, and that's how he makes his money. So again, when you think about monetizing blogs, don't just think about advertising, because that's one avenue to get money. But there's a whole lot of other avenues to get money. So yeah, if you have lots of photos, it's the same principle. People like photos more than they like reading.
Any services for advertising on videos or even Google videos? It's unless you have like 1 million views. How does that work?
I think when it comes to some content which is not just basic text or something, I think there's another opportunity which is lead generation. So you can use this kind of content as your portfolio to generate leads for your consulting business or your agency business. Not just even directly monetize that same content. So I think, but there are examples in Pakistan like Coke Studio, the RFOR video has been, just for information, Coke Studio was the 12th most watched YouTube channel in the world last year, and I think that's where they can monetize through advertising around videos as well.
Okay.
But I think the best in Pakistan would be to use that as a portfolio and generate leads for your consulting business. That's more important. Because you have intellectual property issue.
But,
So people don't buy photos, they would generally copy paste into the business stuff.
Okay.
Just to connect blogging with monetizing, why don't you talk about the social media, the biggest platform? Now the shift is happening in society. Although we used to say that blogging is just a 10%, 5% all over social media now. If you measure blogging, most of the time I have seen in your blogging get together, you are used to promoting just blogging. Whenever there is a very, very huge platform. Let me clear three musketeers what I used to promote in my marketing, the LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. There is a very huge platform. Again, we can monetize these 3 platforms for the promoting your marketing. There is one question asked by Usman. How can we promote? How can we convert corporate blog and branded blog? Means they're used to, most of the people used to design a personal blog, and news means whatever happening in the city, they publicize on your blog. But they never ever design a corporate and branded blog online. Because there is a very huge opportunity in the market. If you are going to pitch in corporate sector, the branded blog and the corporate blog, then definitely they will give you the business. You can earn money and handsome money to promote yourself. This is a very important thing. Let me ask, why don't you connect other platforms with the blogging? Besides blogging.
Simplest answer is I'm a Google employee.
Of course, you have Google Insight.
But that does not mean that I'm biased in that sense. I think we've done a lot of tweet ups as well.
Yeah.
We have done tweet ups. We have always used probably Facebook during our lucky draws. So I think it's the blogging is just to use the word blogger meetup. But we have talked about everything from politics to promoting Pakistan and branding Pakistan online.
Most of the time.
Yeah, everything. So we have, I think, done all possible ways. And we have, so the challenge initially was, there was no blogging community or the digital netizen community here in Pakistan. So this was the simplest way to attract people that they could earn online. Because money was a kind of money. So that was probably the starting point. So people still are not very comfortable. They're very comfortable using social media like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but they're not able to monetize because they're not developers. So they can't create free games like Zynga to create farm well so that they can monetize. They can use it, but they can't come through that themselves.
Are there any game developers here in the audience?
Thank you.
Do you develop for like Facebook or those?
Yeah, right now I'm developing for Facebook.
And I'm just wondering, are you doing this as an are you doing this as an individual or are you doing this as a company?
Yeah, I'm doing for a company named Sensor Technologies in Karachi, and we are working for Facebook and other social media websites right now, and we have developed some social games like Lamolina. It was ice mode type of game.
Okay.
A lot of audience in that, but I have one question here.
Right. And then I have a question for you also. So go ahead.
I have a blog named blog-games.blogspot.com right now. What I noticed that I have one also blog videotips.blogspot.com.
Can you get to the question? We just need to wrap up there.
What's my main question is during the World Cup I just like a World Cup live matches in that, but on my top line in blogspot.com there's no any traffic there. I am worried about it. So, what I saw in past during the World Cup, cricket World Cup, when I played a video of live matches there, there was a lot of traffic in during the World Cup matches. But right now I am concerned about it. How can I generate traffic in that way? Can you please guide me?
Traffic generation. Some tips? Could I ask actually all four of you?
I think the simplest answer is you need to have a unique selling point. Why would I come to your blog and not go to Geo.tv directly or GeoSuper.tv or Dunia TV or any other Express Tribune wherever? Why shouldn't I go there who are the actual creators of that content, first of all? So the traffic you got previously was because, I mean, that might be one of the reasons in addition to others, is that people searched for it who didn't know who's broadcasting live, and that's why they came to you, because you might rank higher probably. But recently, if I'm not wrong, if you do not have permissions to use their live feed of a TV, even your AdSense might get blocked. So you need to have a very explicit permission from the actual content creator that you can publish their video, a live feed on your own blog as well.
And
If I'm not wrong.
there's one more thing, the World Cup isn't going on anymore, so you should expect traffic. Yeah, of course. The main thing is how can I engage the local firms in the gaming technology and with my blog.
It's the unique selling point जो पवन ने अभी कहा.
Okay.
अगर आपके पास कोई unique selling proposition है जो दूसरी websites या blogs पे नहीं है, it's probably that people will come to you, and that's what I think he's trying to say.
Yeah, one quick answer would be that just go to Google Trends, which is another product, free product. See what people are looking for, what people are pulling, and then in that category, and then talk about that thing, but not specifically based on very specific keywords, but generically in that sphere. And that's how you will start generating some traffic. And once you have a certain amount of traffic, then everybody will be coming back to you automatically that you want to advertise or you want to work with you. Can you please review our product? So I think Imran will probably explain better how. I mean, do you always contact companies for products, or is it the other way around as well?
Never. I've only contacted one local companies for products and reviews. Otherwise, if your content is good enough, companies will contact you themselves. Because I get accessories for reviews and stuff like that. Companies actually contact me themselves. So
I don't know, perhaps if you have.
locally I have to contact companies because obviously my content is more suited for the international community than the local one. Okay, I wanted to know if you develop the games yourself.
Yeah, I
The best way is to build up your portfolio. If you're doing some services, you need to showcase them. How are you doing them? Rather than thinking how you will go traffic. If you make a good portfolio of your services like the games you develop, you begin starting leasing website, and people will come to you. You should share your concerns, not just your online presence. Offline, you have to share your website. That is my portfolio, and then you generate leads on that. Maybe on Codesk or then freelancing website, you could, use that portfolio as a showcase of your work to, gain any projects or something.
Right.
It's
And
not
as
just
right,
the same case for every blog.
every blog will be different, but as Percy also mentioned, and I think Usman was also talking about the fact that you need to create case studies so that if your unique selling proposition is games, perhaps have a video of that age group of somebody playing that game and see what the learning curve was and propose that, share that with businesses who can then understand how your game and how your talents can actually be used.
Sorry, suggestion would be submit your free games to free download websites. And because people go there to download freeware. So
I have done with Mochi Media.
no, I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of websites which are offering free download games and everything. So people use them a lot. Download freeware and everything.
I would issue in the case that there's a lot of communities out there for open source code and stuff like that. So put your stuff out to open communities, open source communities. This is how you get popularity, exposure, and then if you're trying to sell something, it'll get more acceptance. It'll have a better acceptance in that.
So this is called I scratch your back, you scratch your back. Just go on other similar websites and blogs and comment properly after reading what they have posted. And they'll come back, link back to your website, and they'll come back and comment on those. And that's how you actually create a traffic signal.
Forget Dig, forget StumbleUpon, forget Reddit. You should do like a Kujiti.com. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's what it is. Can we just briefly?
I think we have a maoinpakistan.com.
Yes.
That in fact is a very good idea for domain name.
It is, right? So I wanted to talk about domain names and SEO, and we have to wrap up in about 5 or 7 minutes. But how important is the domain name? How important is it in terms of generating traffic?
The most important thing. Very, very important.
Very important?
Very good, because of the brand name. If
Go
your
ahead.
domain name is not important, then your digital ID will be lost.
Well, I have.
Hang on.
Okay, so there are like 2, 3. You have to see that there are ranking factors in search engines. Google tells that it has more than 200 ranking factors. So domain name is one of them. It is better. Like there are 2 parts. So you can go for a brand or you can go for a keyword. So you have to see if you're you need. For example, now he's searching for Coca-Cola query if he's thirsty. So he'll be searching for cold drinks. So cold drink is a keyword, but Coca-Cola is a brand. So you have to see if you need a domain for Coca-Cola.com, you need a domain for whatever keyword you are promoting. So ranking of domain name is one of the ranking factors, but it's not everything in the ranking.
I went to ethic.com, then I had started redmondpie.com. We have no keywords in our domain names. People actually search for those domains on Google to come to our website. So, those keywords in the domain don't really matter that much. You have Engadget, you have Gizmodo, I can give
Yeah, of course.
such examples. So, keywords in the domain are not a big factor.
Even in gadget has a keyword gadget. So, but Redmond is definitely not a keyword, but you have made a brand. So now you have a brand, not a keyword.
That's what the focus should be, not adding keywords to your domain.
So that's what I'm getting at, whether you go for a brand or you go for a keyword. So that's not the point that what is important. What is important is that you are generating a fan base. So when you're working, you will get a fan base, whether it's a keyword domain or not, but it's not the everything. But my point is that it's not the all of SEO, it's just one ranking factor.
Right. Can you talk a little bit more about SEO? Because I know that there's some intermediate and advanced bloggers, but there are also some that are basic levels. Can we just briefly cover the area of SEO, because it's extremely important especially when you're trying to integrate Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, all social media and your blog. So where does SEO actually come in?
Well, if you go in for SEO, you do it well, it pops up high up in Google, theoretically you get the traffic. But I think, so people go in there, but then the question is, once they go in, will they stay? Will they keep coming back? Again, you go back to that content. So SEO, all that, they are tricks. But again, I'm a great believer that you've got to go back and ask, what is it that you want to do? Earlier we had, someone asking, well, I'm a freelancer, what is it? Now, question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to promote yourself as a freelancer that can do everything, or a specialist in one particular area, say women's fashion, or etc. It's that whole strategic direction. What is your strategic intent? Now, if you figure that out, then SEO and all that, whether the web looks good, etc., that would certainly help you. But it's no substitute for clear thinking in the first place.
So I think I agree. Quick question in the
And then, what is
I think absolutely agree to that the most important thing is to define the objective of what you want to achieve. Right. And then you need to choose the right tool, whether it's SEO, social media, or a mix or a hybrid of what, and how much weightage or balance you want to keep it within. But I mean, I think everything has its own importance in that sense. So you can't just ignore either of the things. But certainly content at the end of the day is the king, which will keep the stickiness of your website. So I will continue that quality.
I just want to quickly link back to it's keywords, SEO, and I'm going to go back to analytics and kind of bring it full circle. So I look at my analytics and I say, where are my traffic sources coming in? So is it better if I have the majority of organic traffic coming in, organic being that so people are actually searching and finding my site? Or is it better that I can analyze and say that, 25% of my traffic, hypothetically, is coming from another website? Or what's better? Referrals are better, or is organic traffic better?
I can't say what is better, but I can tell you, as per Forrester research of 2009, 81% of good websites, 81% of the traffic comes from search engines.
Okay.
That's kind of thumb search engines, and I'm not sure what kind of practice is there, but I think that's what I generally recommend. That means that you're visible. You're not just creating a website, but you're visible to the public as well. They can find you.
Most recent study shows that 70 to 90% traffic generated from social media.
Absolutely true.
So say that your blog is your honest, but you want people to think of you and avoid unethical unethical ways to gain traffic or money and stuff like that. So, make sure your online identity is just as you are in real life.
Okay. So if you're cool in real life, you'll be cool online.
I just noted a few points. So one would be again, think online. There are a lot of things being done offline which can be done online. There's no shortcut in earning or monetizing online. People think that if they come online, they'll start earning from tomorrow. I think that's probably another myth. Again, I repeat, follow the user, money will follow you. And I think you should be tools agnostic. You should depend on your content. And as the tools evolve, I think you should continue using and kind of adding or subtracting the tools as and when they are evolved.
Okay. Should I say?
The worst thing I have observed is the obsession with making money online. In our university, we happen to be teaching blogging as a subject, and the most frequently asked question in the class and outside the class is, sir, how can we make money? Forget about everything, how can we make money? I asked them, do you have a blog? They said, sorry, blog to ban jayega, but how can we make money? That's probably it should be a progressive and well thought out and a very, very long haul. Only then you can, as rightly said, that you build a good blog, money will follow. But if you blog for money, money will never come.
And as long as your last name is in Khalid, you will make money on it.
Right.
I belong to this generation that grew up with typewriter being the most advanced technology.
So I take this view that technology just does very few things. It allows you to talk to people faster. It allows you to talk to more people on a wider geography. That's all it does. But really, online, you're doing exactly what you would do offline. So the advice is be yourself more, but with skills.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think one last comparison I would like to share is, earning online is like paradox No. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, you know, if you follow money, money will not follow you. It's the same thing. If you're following a girl, she's following somebody else already. I mean, so if you need her to follow you. It should be the
Them like dirt, they'll stick like mud.
Hey,
I just wanted to tell
you meet me outside. I'll show you who to treat me like one. But that's I guess very true because
I triggered a lot of workshops.
yes, and I also follow Meera ji online. And she doesn't follow me. So see that works very well. With that, I'd like to profusely thank the panel. Shirazi Sahab, Badr and Imran, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. I hope that you guys will also attend Ong's workshop, which is at 3 o'clock downstairs.